Okay, I've been doing a series of videos about Karl Marx and his governmental and governmental, political, and economic philosophy. Um, and in this video, I just kind of want to talk about the idea of the centralization of resources in a socialist or more properly a communist society. Um, I guess what to give up a bit of a preface on what would bring such a thing on would be that class struggle between the proletariat and the bourgeois in a capitalist government or a capitalist society, where the bourgeois own all of the modes of production and the resources, and the proletariat is the one who's working and does the labor, while any profit or surplus that comes from the production or the goods and services goes to the bourgeois. They own everything, and they have the most money. And there's the idea of kind of an idea of a fetishism, to where they kind of put on a pedestal either commodity or money or capital, and they kind of go after that to kind of gain as much as possible, and that's the dominant thing in this whole capitalist society. And this whole centralization of resources is kind of what happens is that you don't have there's no free enterprise to where anybody can kind of own a business. The government would then own the resources and own everything, and there would be distribution on a needs basis. There would be distribution and production on a needs basis. We don't in this whole thing, we don't make any more food or clothing or resources than the society needs. We don't make things for profit. We only make things to sustain the whole society or country, and that's the way in which we can have a classless society. And also what can follow from this is people kind of almost can sometimes be given a job instead of going out and finding one. Certain freedoms being taken from them for the good of the whole. Where in a capitalist society, you're free to say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you can have whatever religion you want. I think in some cases there is, I think in lots of cases there was religious toleration, but there's no free enterprise in a communist society, and there isn't there's less freedom of finding your own job and finding and kind of pursuing your own way and pursuing your own career, and there wouldn't be rich people anymore. There would be just people who are fine, people who are surviving. Now this whole thing did work for a while. Lenin and Stalin and people following him up until the 90s in the USSR and the satellite Eastern European countries. That whole thing did work for a while. However, those were some of the downfalls were the lack of freedom to do certain things with that, and I mean, so there's good and bad in this whole thing, and I kind of want to do a video later, kind of evaluating the whole good and bad of this whole thing. I think this book, which is The Ethical Dimensions of Marxist Thought by Cornel West, kind of does explain some things that kind of would make it somewhat shows some good things with it. There's also a book that I have over there called "Why Marx Was Right" by Terry Eagleton. So there's good and bad to both of this, but having a full revolution leading to a communist society doesn't always, work out. So I don't know. I guess I've been thinking about this whole thing, about as to how all of the resources of a whole society or a country being centralized, as to how whether that would be good or not, or what kind of bad things would follow in what. So let me know your thoughts below. Also, if you think I should have included something in this, or I said something wrong, please also comment below, because whenever you comment, I get an email, and if your if your comment is constructive, then I will definitely respond. Thank you.